coronavirus has stopped the world in its tracks. We have all been living in our homes without going out very much because if we do, we have a chance of catching the virus. So, of course, the pandemic has affected a lot of industries, right? Like the automobile one, because why would you buy a car when you can move, right? So, going by that logic, how would you think the pandemic has affected an industry that has by a goal to move people from one point of the globe to the other? Of course, negatively, right? We all think the same. But how exactly? Here's Agustin Alfaro to tell us more. Hello, I am Agustin Alfaro. Today I will talk about how has this pandemic affected LATAM Airlines, American Airlines, and Fly Emirates. Also, I will compare their numbers. Every transport company around the world is having a tough time at the moment, but LATAM, before the pandemic, already had a big problem. The airline had a $12 billion debt already because of their bad administration problems. The airline came into the start celebrating their great 2019 numbers, only to qualify for the Chapter 11 of the bankruptcy law in the United States, which means they can still run while they reorganize and restructure their debt. The company's employees already had a 50% cut on their salary in March, but the pandemic has forced LATAM to make another cut on their salary, taking another 20% from their employees. But the company has not surrendered. They still have $2.2 billion coming from their principal actions, and companies specialize in company recovering. Then in June, the Chilean-Brazilian airline announced that its subsidiary in Argentina will cease operations indefinitely because in a pandemic scenario, the continuity of its operations is not viable. What about the biggest airline in the world, American Airlines? In March, the CEO of American Airlines advises that the American airline was going through. He said the virus was affected the industry's demand even more than the 9/11. American Airlines has confirmed that they have cut 50% of their capacity, which means two things. One, the airline will travel with half the amount of passengers they used to, and secondly, the airline will cut a lot of flights, especially the ones that do not go on popular routes. The US Senate have reached a massive $2 trillion deal for industries who have been affected economically, and 50 billion of those are for US airlines. What we don't know is how were those 50 billion distributed. What about the most luxurious airline, Fly Emirates? Earlier this year, the company announced that they were going to stop flying people, staying only with the cargo. This was with the goal of keeping the virus from spreading. But with the past of the last couple of months, officially since July the 7th, slowly going through a process of getting people back to flying, with a lower amount of people in the planes and with limited destinations. The company has been very careful with this process. They provided coronavirus health for every flight and passenger. This consists in disinfecting the planes between every flight and testing the passengers for COVID-19. Emirates feels so safe with their safety measurements that they will pay for your medical treatment, hotel quarantine, and even your funeral if you catch COVID-19 while traveling. What about the numbers? We will start by comparing the firing of employees in each company. LATAM, before the pandemic, had 43,000 employees, and up until now, they have lost 13,043 employees, ending up with a total of 29,957 employees. American Airlines sent a message to 19,000 telling them they were being laid off, going from 133,700 employees to 114,700 employees. Prior to the crisis, Emirates had a staff of 60,000 employees, but up until now, they have lost about 16,000 employees, including pilots, crew members, etc. Let's see now the fleet size information. LATAM Airlines fleet consists of 130 aircrafts, with the Airbus A320 as their most popular, with a quantity of 58 units. American Airlines has a fleet size of 876 planes, and the Boeing 737-800 is the more popular because of its 304 units. But now, with the coronavirus, they only use 211 planes, using mostly the Boeing 737 MAX 8. Emirates has a fleet size of 2, and they operate the largest fleet of both the Airbus A380 and the Boeing 777. They now operate about 100 flights a day, using mostly the Boeing 777. And to finish, we will see a comparison between the airlines' financial share prices. As you can see in the following graphic, LATAM's financial share price currently is $1.47, a sad number for its historical highest, which was of $30.97 in 2010. The financial share price of American Airlines was at its historical highest in January 2018 with a cost of $58.47, and currently their share price is of $13.06, as you can see in the following graphic. And to finish, the current financial share price of Emirates is $2.